Yo, what is going on, everybody? Different day, but we are back. I am joined by my partner, Varangian Vigilante, and it is Black History Month, and we have kicked off things with a double feature. And what a perfect double feature this is right here. The Dynamite double feature with Willie Dynamite and Black Dynamite. And I watching these two films, there's a lot of pimping, there's a lot of seriousness going on, and there's a lot of comedy involved. But both movies have their unique traits, and they both have that blaxploitation elements in it. Especially like Willie Dynamite. When you really look at the film, it has pimping and stuff, but it's not really like considered like a defining blaxploitation film because the elements like nudity and sex and all that stuff. But it's a big part of that exploitative film of showing the game of pimping and how it can be tough. And that's what I like about Willie Dynamite is that it's more of the struggles a pimp have trying to maintain his business as opposed to just glamorizing all the way through.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, first time I've seen Willie Dynamite, this movie never came out in German, which is crazy because there's a lot of fantastic edition of blaxploitation movies. Hey, Inja. So it's very strange that this movie never made it here, and I think it came out in France and of course in the UK, but there's no German version of it, which is really peculiar, especially since I think this is such an intelligent movie that plays with the trope. Like you said, it lures you in the beginning with this pimp lifestyle, with the catchy soundtrack. Absolutely love the soundtrack. But then you get an amazing drama that is about the downfall and basically the rebirth of one man. It's a story of remorse and finding like a new purpose in life through hardship. Never thought I would say this about a pimp movie, but this movie is so perfectly structured. Like I've totally fell in love with it, and it also breaks like a lot of conventions, like for the blaxploitation genre. When you look at the details, you have a lot of black characters that are in authority roles, like impulsive authority roles in the background. For example, the judge.
Yeah.
And of course, also the policeman that is like the rival in Willie D.
Yeah, I actually like the police in this film because it shows the different dynamics they have. One of them is hardcore serious and orthodox, while the other one is more like cutting corners, wanting to do things the lax way. He let the black cop do all the running while he stands on the roof and observe. So, man, there's a lot of layers to the characters in this film.
This movie deserves way more recognition. It's like perfectly for doing a character studies, and the wonderful thing about is what a lot of people forget nowadays with movies, it's also a really entertaining movie. It's intelligent and entertaining. Like those two things doesn't have to fight each other. Hey, Kenneth.
Exactly. Like if you see the posters and stuff, you're thinking, oh, this is just a straight up pimp movie. And this movie came out after the Mac, with Max Julian and Richard Pryor. And that's another movie we have to discuss. Absolutely. Because that movie really like glamorized pimping and stuff like that. But the breakdown of the pimp lifestyle is to me more shown in Willie Dynamite, where it's like you got to work hard to maintain that lifestyle, or else you'll get eaten up by the system.
Yeah, like to subvert expectations is pretty much like an anti-phrase, like a killer phrase to kill any hype these days. But this movie shows that you can do it and be awesome. It like I said, lures you in and you think, oh, you're gonna witness the rise of Willie D against the other pimps. But just you start and actually with him being at his best, and from there you just witness his downfall.
Exactly, and like I said, I just love how the movie pretty much starts off with the pimp lifestyle, but then it just starts to go into the struggles of it. And I love that Willie D has these constant problems pop up after he turned down the collectivized union of the pimps.
Which was a fantastic scene. That's also where, of course, I got my nickname for the only white people. Milky
Hey, that's
Way.
a cool nickname too, man. The nicknames in there. We also saw King George. You know, he ain't calling himself King George, but it's King George from Coffee.
Yeah, I mean, there's fantastic actors in there. Of course, I mean, Roscoe Orman as Willie, he just nails it. And actually, it's so funny because in the end, you know, like when he finds out that this life is not for him and he reforms, etc. It's like, you know, if you're a pimp and you reform, you can still get a job at the Sesame Street.
That's right. I knew where you were going with it. I was like, hey, he left the pimping and he said, I'm gonna devote my life to Sesame Street.
Exactly. So, you know, like, you don't even have to leave the streets. You just have to go to
the good street.
Yeah, to the good street. Yeah, lots of talents in it. Also, of course, the later fantastic Talmuz Rasulala, like we also know from Blackula, of course, and also Star Trek. Yeah, Darktown, obviously. Yeah, he's like has like a minor role in it, but you know, just him being him, he steals every scene that he's in.
Yeah, I really like him in this background role because while he doesn't have much screen time, he does play an important part to the character of Cora, played by the beautiful late Diane Sands.
Yeah, passed away way too soon. Like this was her last movie.
Second to last movie.
You know,
she did another film before she died.
Okay.
But she was fantastic in this film.
Yeah.
I like her being the antagonist to Willie Dynamite and how, you know, she was trying hard to help the girls move away from him, trying to, especially one particular girl, you know, that's
Passion,
played by Joyce Walker. And, you know, I just love that she's trying hard to motivate her to get away from Willie. She can become a model, a successful model, and make more money and just be on her own accord. And you could just see the struggle and passion for wanting to devote her life to Willie. Because Willie sweet talked her at the beginning when she came up short. But she was falling for his sweet talk. And one thing we know about the pimps and all those movies, that they can sing those words and draw you right back into their lifestyle.
Absolutely.
But, you know, when you got somebody like Cora trying to push her and motivate her to go elsewhere and get away from Willie because Willie is just exploiting you, you know, you're conflicted. And I love that about this character, is that she's conflicted. She wants to stay loyal to Willie, but at the same time, she sees the negative lifestyle of it, going to jail constantly. You know,
and she pays dearly for it.
She pays dearly. You know, the dealing with other women that's part of other groups. You know, she sees the negative lifestyle for it, so she's conflicted on whether she wants to leave or not. So, this movie really has a lot of layers when it comes to their characters.
Yeah, but as you mentioned already, Cora, I think this is also such a fantastic journey of the character through the movie. You know, starting out as Willie D's antagonist, but at the end becoming his redeemer.
Yeah, and that's where the movie like kind of flips it. You know, normally a character like that's an antagonist, they're gonna stay the antagonist.
Yeah.
But by the end of the movie, she becomes more sympathetic towards him. Because while she despised him, because she was also a former prostitute. You know, she was on those streets. She knew exactly what every girl that was on those streets doing. She knew exactly everything. You know, she was even critiquing their clothes.
Yes, that was a fantastic scene when she got into Willie's stable and she commanded the whole room.
Yeah. that was an amazing scene. How she broke those women down and said, you know, you can do better than this, you know. And she was such a fantastic character that I wish that, you know, that this actress didn't pass away. Because, you know, I loved her in other films, even Raising the Sun, but, you know, she did such a great job in this film.
Nobody deserves dying so young.
Yeah. And she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous.
That too, naturally, yeah. Yeah, this movie, you can really... This is like one of these fantastic movies that you watch, you're having fun, but that you really immediately want to rewatch, because the first time you noticed, hey, this is way deeper than I'm thinking. I think I missed a lot of things. So it's very inviting for rewatching it and analysis. I mean, I think there's even a website that I found out there that was about 6 business tips you can take away from this movie. Because it's also about business.
And that's like the underlying theme. When they show at the beginning, you know, the hotel and, you know, the big wigs, they're talking about making money and capitalism and stuff. Like, you know, we're in this to make money. And that's exactly Willie Dynamite's whole point. He wants to make money. He wants to be number one. He wants to be the best pimp out of all the pimps. And that's why he was so against collectivizing, because he's like, I want to make my own money. I like the competition. You know, I have women in my stable that are some mean ones. You know, and he wants to control his own turf without anybody else telling him anything.
Yeah. Which, of course, like, it's also lesson history. Only works when more people think like you.
And this is where, you know, Bell comes into play. Roger Robinson.
Such
this man is the
character.
He is the definition of scene chewing moments. You could tell that he was a theater actor. You could just instantly tell.
Like, he's also one of these characters that when there's a scene with him, eyes and ears are on him.
Because you got to have vision.
Yes. And, you know, this is also something that shows that, you know, speech is not automatically speech, but you can use every word as a mean to get somebody like in the mood that you want to get a point across, a certain one. And he absolutely knows how to pronounce words for them to hit bullseye. Like, Bell don't miss.
He don't miss. And a funny thing about this, my uncle had a friend, and I always, as a kid, I was like, why does he got a long pinky nail? So I was like, what was the whole thing with the long pinky nail? I did not watch Willie Dynamite, and I saw Bell use his pinky nail to pick up the coke and snort it. I was like, oh. So anybody that I saw that had a long pinky nail, I was like, oh, I know what you do on the side.
Carrie Fisher in Star Wars.
I know what you do on the side.
They may not have underwear in space, but they sure have blow.
That booger sugar right there. But yeah, that's probably the one scene in the movie that most people talk about most, is the Pimp Council. And a lot of it is thanks to the movie we're talking after this, Black Dynamite, because they did the exact replica of that scene.
Yeah.
And when people watch Black Dynamite, they like, I gotta watch the Willie Dynamite scene because they're so good.
That Pimp Council is, you know, what's also so fantastic is about all the other pimps. Some don't even get a speaking role, but from the few words or just from the gestures, that you can totally get the character of each pimp Especially, I love Sugar. Who just says like, Sugar, sweet.
That's it.
Yeah.
And one of the pimps was played by Rolo from Sanford and Son. You know, I was like, oh shit, he ain't got the mustache. But yeah, that whole scene like influenced a whole new generation, especially when Black Dynamite redid it. That's the one scene that I see the most. That and the scene where he walks down those steps.
Oh yeah, the outfits are glorious. You know,
when he glides, I don't know how many takes that took, because he glide down those steps so effortlessly. I guarantee you, I will stumble trying to do it the way he did it.
I think this scene alone, if there ever is a 4K of this movie, I wanna see that outfit in HDR. Because the colors are just so majestic, so glorious, so outrageous. I love it.
When you live that lifestyle, you're gonna dress to the T in all the various colors. And he had the car to go with it. Willie D was just flashy.
And of course, you're awesome when you have your own theme.
Oh yeah, got to have my theme music.
Yeah.
Every black hero needs one. Willie Dynamite ain't no hero, but he got to have a great theme. And another thing I like about Willie Dynamite is after the whole sequence with the Pimp Council, that's when everything starts to fall apart from him. The cops are all over him. His girls are going back to jail. Passion gets arrested again. He's like, for what?
Bale
outside the little cigarette, and they came and took him to jail. Go ahead.
Yeah, the bail gets higher, and it's just not lucrative anymore. And then of course,
and even
the other pimps also want a piece of you.
Yeah, because when they're in the courtroom, you see all the other pimps lined up there, like they waiting to get a little piece of the pie. Like if somebody don't bail her, I'll jump in and bail her, and she joined my stable. So you got there's a risk of losing your own girl to other pimps.
Yeah, I mean, once you like on the downfall, the vultures will come by themselves. Bigger.
And that courtroom scene really showed Cora trying to get Passion on her side by helping and being a representative for her until Willie Dynamite came with his lawyer, and it just shut that whole thing down.
Yeah, and also the lawyer later is, of course, there's also only in for the money, and that one betrayed him. Oh yeah,
a lot of movies and TV shows that lawyers are just there for the money. They don't give a damn about anything else but the money.
One of my favorite quotes is from one of the most hilarious TV series ever, Arrested Development. Where, of course, it's totally wrong. It doesn't mean that, but when Will Arnett's character jokes that, lawyer is let him for life.
A bunch of shiesty motherfuckers, bro. Can't trust the lawyer to save your day, and all they want is the cash.
Yeah.
You got the cash, they will represent. And the cops in this film are... I love the dynamics of the two cops. Albert Hall plays Pointer, the black detective, and you could tell he's very serious in his job.
Yeah.
Like he is determined to bring Willie Dynamite down no matter what. And even though they know they don't have like strong enough evidence to really put him in jail for a long period, they're doing whatever it takes to try and bring him down. Yeah. And I love the chase scene that they had later in the film. He chased him through the buildings and stuff. I thought that was probably one of the best shot scenes.
Yeah, there's not a lot of action in this movie, but it doesn't need to be.
Because
the characters are fantastic.
Yeah, to me, like, that was probably the best action set piece, with the chase in the car and then the building with Pointer chasing him. Like, to me, Pointer had a motive against Willie Dynamite. And another thing I really like about what Pointer did, like when he showed him the photo of a prostitute who died, and he well, who is that? That ain't nobody but, is that your sister? He's like, yeah, that's my sister, and that's your sister as well.
Yeah.
You know, I love that he's trying to put the blame on Willie Dynamite for not only ruining, black women's lives, but anybody's lives. Like, that's supposed to be your own.
That's also like a killer counter, like, to the offense by him, like, just like rhetorically perfect.
Yeah. I really like that. And then his partner, Seeley, played by George Murdoch, if you've seen Across 110th Street with Yaphet Kotto and Anthony Quinn, this guy is similar to Anthony Quinn's character, old, grizzly, pretty much being pushed out to retire, but yet always taking shortcuts to get the job done, whereas Yaphet Kotto's character was always by the books. He was being serious. So I felt like these two characters were played similar to that movie. And his character was pretty much like just taking shortcuts. He's Catholic and all, but he don't really like care. He talks to Willie in the more like, yeah, Willie, you're in trouble, but we can help you out, if you just tell us this and that. Whereas Pointer is just straight to the book. He wants to put Willie down. He's more lenient on how he approached things. And I felt like the two detectives had different characteristics that really makes them stand out.
Absolutely. And in general, as the police is also portrayed as a part of the business.
Yeah, and that they showed that, during the hotel scene when the girls were getting their thing. You see two cops go inside with the girls. They look around, make sure nobody's watching. Because they are a big part of the business. Some cops need their relief too.
Yeah, it's like the blue light and the red light were hand in hand.
Yeah. So there's corruption on all sides, but everybody's gonna get their piece of the pie. And some cops, even if they don't like it, if money is involved, they're gonna like, well, put me down for that. You're gonna give me a piece of that.
Yeah. Yeah. What a scene that I really love. One among many scenes is when Willie D, got his gun and he's out there to finish off Bell.
Oh yeah.
And he is in prime position to do so. And he shoots, but he don't shoot at him, he just shoots around him.
He wipes his car out.
Exactly, because this scene is basically a crossroads for Willie. Like, to go fully down to take revenge, but to go fully down just to take somebody with him, or to choose another path. And he chose the other path that leads to his redemption.
Yeah.
So very powerful scene.
And it's considering the fact that he embarrassed Bell earlier, by getting out of the situation Bell put him in, and then stripping Bell butt naked and having him stuck in the Bronx. It's like, damn. I don't blame Bell for wanting revenge, but at the same time, it's like you kind of put Willie in the jam up spot there.
Exactly. Yeah, this is so well done. Just it's rare to see in a movie a character development that gets so against the whole theme of the movie in the beginning, but it fits so good.
Yeah, like I said, this movie really does a great job with the characters that have.
Yeah.
Even Honey, who was in charge of the stable.
Yeah.
Willie D.
The bottom bitch.
She has a sad end, because she's responsible for making sure that the women are on their thing, getting money and everything is run successful.
She's actually, is she the only one who dies in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even except for Willie D's mom, who dies in the hospital, but the only one who meets like a brutal ending. Like
Yeah, she was the only one that died, due to rival women being in their territory, and thanks to Belle. So there had to be like some type of a death to really set things off, and sadly, she suffered the worst fate of it.
Yeah,
and that's where everything really like completely collapsed for Willie, because then his money got frozen because they investigated that he wasn't paying taxes, so they shut down his accounts.
The lawyer was like, "Fuck you, there's no money."
Yeah, so he had no safe haven for himself. He had to be on the run. But yeah, this movie really do a great job with his characters and how they interact and what lead Willie on the path of redemption.
Yeah,
because he was very arrogant at the beginning. Yeah. He was very arrogant.
Yeah, it's always about remorse, but before you get remorse, you need to be humbled, and he gets humbled.
Big time.
And it also shows, how free you can also be when you lose everything. Because also, like, his mother dies because of the stress that the son's lifestyle puts on her.
And he tried. He did a lot to impress his mom, and she wasn't impressed. When he went to see his parents and they took out the fur coat, and he's like, "Oh my God, this fur coat's so beautiful," and she looked at it like she wasn't impressed at all, because she knew the lifestyle he lived. She just didn't know how deep it was.
Yeah, and also like probably how many fates have been sacrificed for this coat.
And then you got his father saying, trying to keep it within the religion. Make sure you always pay back to God, and stuff like that. And Willie's kind of like just passe on it, but that's where that ending really like comes into play, because after he lost his mom, he realized the error of his ways and the things that he did in his life. He's like, if I don't change, then how can I become a better person?
Actually,
I'm so arrogant and want to be number one that I've blinded myself to my own family.
And the acting, like, at the end, like the final scene, when he gets the smile, this smile is for the first time it feels genuine and joyful, and you can see like there's all this weight from having to be like him, trying to be number one, fell off him, and he was able to start a new life.
And he was able to go straight to Sesame Street and smile a whole lot.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the decision for him not to ace Belle so good, because he knew that if he'd done that would have just put him on the down. He would have been done.
That would have been at best prison, at worst ending up in a ditch somewhere.
And temptation is the worst thing that can happen, because you got your man dead to rights. You could take him out. And if I'm not mistaken, the girl that was with him was one of his ex-ones.
Yeah.
One of his girls. So, yeah, you got the right to take him out, and you choose not to. And he chose the path of least resistance. Because he resisted the temptation to kill Belle, and he ended up having a new life going forward. Such a good movie.
Fantastic. Yeah, I guess as a movie, I expected something completely different when I started watching it, but in the end, this is one of these movies where you think about it even if it's over.
Yeah, and it's got a great message. It's got a great message, because no matter what, you can't stay on top forever. You can never stay on top, and everything's gonna start crumbling. That's why they say it ain't easy.
Yeah, and there's certain crossroads in your life that you can control which direction you go.
Yeah. Whereas greed and fame can only take you so far. At the end of the day, you have to find yourself. And that's the beauty about Cora's character. She was so against him at the beginning, but by the end, she's one of the main reasons why he ends up changing himself. You know, she was all about changing the girls who was underneath him. But then she starts to realize, like, you know, he is a human being. He's just as human as I am, and as the girls that he's running.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when the mother, you know, passed out in front of her at the courtroom, you know, like, yeah, that sympathy really came into play. And I like how Thomas Razalala got on her and said, "This is the man you wanted to bring down all the time, and now you having to change her heart." Like, he got caught off guard by it. So yeah, like, this movie really shows the development of all these characters from beginning to end and how they change.
Yeah, because what it also does so intelligently is the movie starts presenting you stereotypes. And the longer the movie goes, like, it pulls off the layers of the stereotypes and you see the humans underneath it.
And that's what makes this movie so relatable, because it could happen to anybody. You know, it doesn't even have to be just pimping. It could be in any field that you work in, that, you know, you think you're the big shot, you know, boss of your company and stuff like that. But if you have arrogant ways to yourself, you're gonna get bitten in the ass. And sometimes you have to humble yourself. Or when people, you know, are there to bring you down, then you have to realize, like, if you don't change, then you're gonna really hit the ground hard and probably won't get up from it.
Yeah. And as we know from recent history, not every man chooses the path that Willie D chooses.
Yeah,
and
because they rather stay the course. You know, they don't want to change.
Yeah.
You've seen that in lots of movies and lots of real life, whereas people just want to stay the same. They don't want to. They feel like a change is too much to take them away from what got them their success. And so for Willie to come to that conclusion, like, you know what, I need this change, because all this does is just leave turmoil and stress and death in my life, and I don't want to do that. Especially with what happened with Passion. And I think I like, after he saw what happened to Passion when she got put in jail and
she got the cut.
I like that when he stood in front of the posters of the woman, the black girl, and then you see that slice on the poster representing Passion.
Yeah.
And he looked at that like, I had the most beautiful girl in my stable, young and pretty, and now her life is ruined because of that.
Yeah, it's never the same anymore. Yeah,
not the same. Like Cora tried to say, oh, you know, it'll get healed up, put some makeup on and stuff, it'll good, but that scar will be there for life.
Yeah, and the memory of it too.
So Willie seeing that really, like, had him like, I done ruined this girl's, you know, career, because she was conflicted on it. She told Willie, like, what I want to do, but she was still devoted to him. And he could have let her go. He could have let her say, you know, go do this. But he was so determined to keep her in his stable that he ended up costing her a future career.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I don't understand is this movie should not have been rated R. Like, I really don't see why. First of all, I don't think that the language and violence are rated R. But on the other hand, I also think that the movie has such a positive message. Okay, the character is such a fantastic movie that it would deserve to be. I mean, of course, I think back then there was no PG-13, but it deserves to be PG, because I think, you know, when you have this movie running and you have more eyes on it, actually a lot of people would see it and it's like, hey, maybe I should make the right choices in my life. I think this is a movie with a positive influence, so I don't think it should be rated R.
And it's funny, like you said, that PG-13 didn't exist. And there were PG movies back in the day that skirted around that. Like, yeah, this movie PG, but yet they doing these things. I'm like, how is this a PG movie?
Yeah.
But I can see your point on that. Like, for me, it doesn't really matter. But
yeah,
when you explain that, like, yeah, I could see it because even back then, certain PG movies still had, adult themes in it. That
exactly. And this movie has a very educational aspect, hidden within one of the layers of the movie, and like I say, it's so fantastic to have a movie with a positive message that is cool, that has some educational stuff in it, and that doesn't suck.
Yeah, and on top of that, like when you become attached to something like Willie was to his car, and the car kept getting repossessed, it kept getting towed, it got broke down and stuff. I love that he walked away from it.
Yeah,
and he said, "You know what, man? I don't need this car."
Yeah, like I said, absolute recommend. Like it's on YouTube, so.
Oh yeah. That's the beauty of YouTube, that they allowed some of these movies to be on there for free.
Yeah, I also think that should be the case, especially like we already discussed it. When, like I said, in my country there's not even a release of this movie. This movie doesn't even has a translation because it was never released here. So
yeah, and there's a lot of movies like that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of movies like that. Foreign movies I've never seen that was never released here, and then was the same for you with Willie Dynamite, never released there. So there's a lot more people that don't know about this film.
Especially when the movie's fantastic. When this movie's coming out here one day on Blu-ray, I'll buy it, of course, because this is a movie that is rewatchable and that I would proudly want to have in my collection.
Yeah, and even with the serious message behind it, there's entertainment in it, because of the act.
Yes.
And that's the thing that people kind of gloss over, is just how good the acting is. Yeah, some people will say, "Oh, that's a '70s movie." Like, I know my mom will be like, she went to the theaters to watch movies like these. So for her, it's like, "Oh, we was acting like that." But for me, like when you compare this to a lot of other blaxploitation films, this movie has a lot of serious message and some great actors in it to really portray it. And like I said, Bell is a great theatrical actor. He does everything with his hands and his facial expressions that you want to see more of his character because of how he portrays.
And most of all, this movie is unique. Like, this movie has a unique artistic and storytelling approach within the genre of blaxploitation.
Yeah, and that's what makes it stand out the most.
Yes.
Like you look at it from the surface, and this is a pimp movie. Like, do I want to watch a pimp movie? But then when you watch it and you follow through the story, it's like there's a lot more than just being a pimp.
Yeah.
So, highly recommend this film. I'm glad we was able to touch on this because
and we had a very philosophical approach of about the life of a pimp.
Yeah, because most movies they try and put it into context of glamorization, but this movie shows that no.
Yeah, or the exact opposite, of course, like with Coffee and Foxy Brown.
Or if you want to get technical, the other guys, a Gator.
Gator.
Chuck Turner and that Gator. Some pimps are ruthless and some pimps are too nice.
And of course the youngest player of all times, Butters. South Park. Which was Wendy is my bottom.
Oh man. So we talked Willie Dynamite, but there's another Dynamite to talk about.
Not running out of Dynamite here.
Lots of Dynamite action in this Black Dynamite 2009 film starring Michael Jai White. Now I remember when we first watched this film. Of course, it's a blaxploitation parody. Lots of blaxploitation elements are in this film. I was like, yo, this movie might be super fun, man. And sure enough, the way the movie is shot, and I give credit to the producers and Jai White and them, they really captured the aesthetic of 70s blaxploitation films to the T.
I would even go so far to say that they did a better job than Rodriguez and Tarantino did with their Grindhouse features.
This movie really make you think that you're in the 70s.
Yes.
And I remember reading up on it, like Michael Jai White and the company, they tried so hard to make sure that no modern elements was in this film. They were making sure that everything stayed to the 70s aesthetic, and they, like the whole Games of Thrones fiasco when they had like a fucking bottle of juice on the table. It's like, wait, that was supposed to be there. They had to make sure.
What I love about it, like I say, is this approach, like also that Michael J. White, that he said he was not only playing Black Dynamite, he was also playing the an actor from the 70s who is playing Black Dynamite. So, and this is something you could really feel with his character, because he has like the Hammer demeanor.
Like he's got the smoothness of the Hammer, the ruggedness of Jim Brown, the karate of Jim Kelly. So it's like he was three the hard way in one man. But Black Dynamite is just a fun ass movie that shows love to the blaxploitation genre. It has all these amazing actors in there. I mean, lots of great actors in this film, and the story is over the top. And while some of the comedy may not hit, I felt like they did a good enough job with it that like a lot of scenes are hilarious, and then some scenes just don't hit as well. But overall, I really love this film.
Yeah, like for my taste, I love this movie, but I think it would be better if the humor would the humor feels a little bit like a spread that is too thickly on the bread. So I think it would be great if some scenes would be more subtle, because then it would be actually more than a parody. Because then this movie has everything what a proper blaxploitation movie needs, and but hey, big success and great love letter to a genre, and like I say, also fantastic casting. I still think that one of the most underrated actors is Phil Morris, who also has a fantastic role in this movie.
Yes, I love Phil Morris, man.
Phil Morris is, I absolutely love him. Of course, also, you know him often for minor roles, for exactly, the Spartan Messenger in the 300 parody, Meet the Spartans, which I'm probably the only person in the world who likes the parody. But you also probably know him from a lot of voice acting, especially for comic book characters in video games and animated movies.
Yeah, I love his character in this film being like the leader of the Black Revolutionaries, playing the Black Panthers. And his introduction scene is great too, because I like that the guys who was there, they're like, Black Dynamite, man, you ain't no leaders, man. And he just spins circles around them on what a real revolutionary would do. And then he comes out and said, Black Dynamite. They get the handshake and stuff. Yeah. So it's like I love it, man. It also made me think of I'm Gonna Get You Sucker when they go meet the guy who was a revolutionary, but he's completely different from what it is.
Exactly, yeah. But also, Phil Morris also, he was Vandal Savage in the Justice League Doom animated movie. He voiced him.
Yeah.
But always fantastic when he's on screen, and I really think that he really, in my opinion, he also has a protagonist allure, and I really hope that hopefully once they're giving like the proper role that he deserves.
Yeah. But so many great actors in it. One of my favorites though is Bokeem Woodbine. He played one of the pimps.
Yeah.
Black Hand Jack. Bro, just a few lines of dialogue he had, and it was delivered so damn funny. You know, he like he's the one that doesn't agree with collectivizing and said, "I'm gonna have to still sell some heroin, you know, to make my ends meet." But yeah, and when Black Dynamite comes in and says, "Can you dig it?" He lays down the law, and Chocolate giddy up with the line of the night, like, "But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community." The look on his face of concern.
The next time we meet him, it will be not as a friend.
Like everybody played their part so well that it's like I need a spin-off movie with all these pimps.
Yeah, Arsenio Hall also has a small role in it.
And Miguel Nunez, man, this is my worst physical year ever. Physical, man, it's fiscal with an F. Fiscal. It's just so damn well. Tommy Davidson, that's cream corn. I mean, the list goes on and on with all the great actors that they had in this film, and you could just tell that they all had a blast.
Yeah, and this story is it's like really like a best of the show where you put everything in there, and also to combine it, of course, with other genres that very often intervene. For example, like as Eastern movies, so you also have a lot of kung fu action in there.
Yeah, I like the story of, Black Dynamite being an ex-CIA guy, Vietnam veteran. And so even the Vietnam story is like.
And there's a love later, when basically the CIA is like here's your license to kill. You will need it.
Hey, and even the CIA guy O'Leary, he keeps falling for the same old tricks that he knows that.
Oh my god, with the bear and the afro,
and then he's like, "Oh man, you did that bear trick, man." And I'm like, and you fell for it again. Just like how he killed him later in the film when O'Leary turned out to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Black Dynamite like fake getting shot. He's like, oh. And then he shoots O'Leary and like, oh damn it.
No, the old Vietnam dream. This is one of these movies where especially the older you get, it's sometimes it's so rare that you truly have like this, when you really laugh out loud and you're getting teary eyes from laughing. This movie, like especially the scene, with the secret plot against the black community. So they get all the malt liquor, and there's like the secret ingredients in there that turns shrinks black ticks.
And the liquor is real to life, because that was one of the things that stunted the revolution and the whole civil rights. Throw a whole bunch of liquor stores in the black community so they could just get drunk. And that's why you saw all the old movies, 70s, 80s, 90s, everybody got a 40 ounce. Billy D. Williams used to
Colt
45.
Colt 45, yeah.
Yeah, drink this Colt 45.
They
should have had him in the movie just to promote the liquor.
But yeah, it's that's a very, very evil, very dark strategy that was also used here, but not for minorities. But there were advertisements here, for a liquor that basically shuts up your wife. It's Frauengold. Like, there were like these ads, when there was a woman like in a bureau and she's like I'm gonna tell the bosses, like, and the others like, shh, calm down, drink this. Like, I mean, it is crazy. Let's just say like society is all alive. We should all band together.
Yeah, because sometimes these advertisements are really evil.
Yeah. Because we're, and it doesn't matter where you come from, we're the ones being played.
Exactly. We're being brainwashed this shit.
Yeah.
Like the Anaconda malt liquor. It'll make you woo!
And this is probably why you should not drink Ric Flair's energy drink.
Trust me, man. Don't think that you're gonna have to get a ride on Space Mountain drinking that shit. But yeah, Black Dynamite really does great with the whole advertisements, and you know, there's always this plot to bring the black man down.
Yeah.
And they gotta do it through nefarious means. And there's so many like sub bosses to get to. You had the Italian guy, you know, we've seen in other movies. He's Rocco from Last Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I love his death because it's so over the top. You know, Black Dynamite used a helicopter with a magnet on it to pick him up and drop. And it's so funny, even Black Dynamite get a laugh out of it all the time.
I mean, there's so many hilarious scenes. For example, I love when he just went to the doctor to check and he ends up with the nurse, of course.
Hey, the porn stars in these films was like top notch.
You know, also giving them a good payday. So, you know, it's for the people, by the people.
Hell, even Black Dynamite's opening scene with the three girls is like, dang.
Yeah, and it's like, shh. He's like, shh, you're waking the other.
And that is a massive play on Fred the Hammer Williamson. What up, Gary B?
Hey, Gary.
That's a massive play on Fred Williamson, Jim Brown, and stuff. They get all the ladies.
Yeah, also next week we're gonna be early on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll be on the Thursday, 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
and then after that, we'll be back on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that massive play on the black heroes of the 70s. Yeah. You know, getting all they were ladies men. You know, they superheroes by night, slay the ladies.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, you know, when you have like a nickname like the Hammer, can be interpreted in many ways and also true in many ways.
Yeah, but the Black Dynamite is a combination of all of that.
Yeah,
and I love, like, this man has his own kung fu sessions, and he is just whooping their ass.
And of course,
he get a phone call from his aunt. Yeah. Like, who's interrupting my kung fu?
And of course, also like in Dynamite, the host also martial arts.
And the girl, the lady who runs the stable is similar to the one in Dynamite.
Yeah. Yeah. And naturally, also have some boom mics visible.
Oh, when he stood up and hit the boom mic, I'm like, oh. Dynamite was heavily involved with this film without even being involved with the film.
Yeah, I mean, we already talked Dynamite, and just a classic of the genre. And this is such a sad thing, but also sadly very telling about America is that outside of the black community in America, it's basically a shrugged under like the carpet, while in a lot of other places in the world, like here in Europe, like I said, there's a lot of fantastic blaxploitation releases, and these movies are generally appreciated. I'm not saying in Europe that we don't have like discrimination problems of our own, etc. But it's great to see the genre like really celebrated the way it should be, because it's a unique voice of American cinema, and it produced many legendary movies that I also think that were a little bit a thorn in the side of Hollywood because they don't like competition.
They don't.
Yeah.
What, man? What makes the genre stands out the most is that there's entertainment in it, and you know, with Black Dynamite, you could take that genre and just say while we're paying homage to it and having fun doing it, it makes you want to go back and watch the old movies.
Exactly.
Because like I said earlier, like this movie inspired people to go watch Willie Dynamite because of
Yeah.
the Pimp Council scene.
And there's many fantastic movies like this. Dolomite is my name. We talked about that one. Or like just a fantastic laugh letter. And we haven't talked those movies yet, but maybe for next year we absolutely have to do it. Like all the chef movies. And what I love about it is that even the later sequels and soft reboots are still amazing.
We don't even need to wait till next year to talk Shaft. We can do that next month.
Yes.
Like after we do Angel Heart,
Yeah.
we could do the Shaft. Because I've been wanting to do the Shaft movies. When Richard Roundtree died last year, I'm like, man, we gotta do the Shaft.
Yeah, and the latest Chef movie was amazing. Totally underrated. Like that was like a movie that was totally totally hidden by not only like Rotten Tomatoes, but like a lot of other sites. But it was an amazing movie, and it made the Samuel Jackson Chef movie within the canon of the original Chef.
Yeah.
Bounty. And it did it in such a fluent and easy way, It's like, yeah, you told me it was my uncle.
It makes you appreciate the fact that we still got Richard Roundtree for all of these movies.
Yes.
Because Richard Roundtree is one of those actors that, I felt like he truly didn't get the respect that he should have gotten. Like most people just know him for Shaft, and that's it. And while he did other movies and he made appearances and stuff, I felt like he should have had just as big of a career as somebody like Fred Williamson and stuff. And another movie that I'll probably mention is One Down, Two to Go. That was like the last big hurrah movie that Fred Williamson did with Jim Brown, Richard Roundtree, and Jim Kelly. It's an okay movie, and I really wish like we would have gotten more of them together on screen at the same time a lot. But it just shows you the powerhouse that they were in the 70s. Yeah. Like for you to have these four great actors who were like superheroes for me growing up in this movie, it's like you don't have that much no more. And like Gary said right here, like these movies can't be captured. Like the magic that they had back in the days, like you just don't see that in modern movies.
Yeah, but I also think is what makes it much the magic and the fun in it is that like this system is rigged against you. And these movies like have this like easiness of living despite there being a rigged system.
Mm-hmm.
So like we are still having fun, like even if you fuck us. Yeah, but it has like this ease, like and I think this is also what, especially when you're oppressed, I think this is also what really helps. To have like this citizen.
and that's why like movies like Black Dynamite like recaptures that magic, and it opens a whole new generation to the movies that they never watch, and like when you see the term like super Negro thrown around, like because that's what they were to us back in the day, like. The Hammer was a superhero. Jim Brown, when he was slaughtered, he was like a superhero. These guys were the epitome of badass. They were men. We inspired to be like them.
Yeah, it is, and you can sense that, when, of course, like, in Europe we don't have like the experience of living. Thankfully, we don't. But like we watch these movies without the social context, of course, because we didn't live through it. But just like from the sheer presence, when, for example, when I saw like From Dusk Till Dawn for the first time, and such a small role in there, but immediately like, damn. like this is the man, like
Yeah.
Like him and Sex Machine. They're both like, and you immediately know, like, you know, there's like even before I knew what the term cameo was. These are just like, you know, I want to know more about these characters and more about these actors.
Yeah. And you know, watching Black Dynamite is just fun. And another little aspect of it is that, you know, it plays onto like the whole sex machine that Black Dynamite is, and a lot of those guys were, because when he was walking with Gloria and the two kids was there, and she's like, "Oh, this is Black Dynamite." Like, "Oh, my mama said that my daddy's name was Black Dynamite." He's like,
and the other kid is like, "Yeah, mine too." And he's like, oh, it's like a lot of people out there. Like,
you look around with a whole lot of women, you don't know what come out after, but you might have some kids that you don't even know of because you playing around. It always makes me laugh when that scene come up.
Yeah.
But the whole go ahead.
Yeah, it's just this movie has so many banger scenes in it, like figuratively and literally. I mean, one of my favorite scenes is, you know, that the one guy who drinks the malt liquor, like bottle after bottle, and then they find out that
what it really is.
The cruel secret behind it is that it shrinks dicks, and then they visit him and he's like this small wiener hanging out of the fence, and they're like, you know, basically it's just like it's like, do you want us to shoot you? You can't live on like.
He had no reply, like,
yeah,
because he is distraught, he is discombobulated. I mean, this man is like, it's over, man. Just put me out of my misery.
Oh.
I can't recover from this. Even though they found the antidote on the island.
Yeah, but who knows, Lily? Like at this point, is how it's.
It makes me think of the scene in Me, Myself, and Irene with Jim Carrey. when the guy, you know, he adopted the 3 black kids, and the guy, he comes, he's like, "Damn it, Charlie, them kids' dicks are bigger than them sausages." and it's like, they fear that so much that they have to come up with this thing.
Actually, you know, with I like the first thing I thought about, you know, like with dick problems and not contemplating life, etc., was the urban legend about ravishing recruit. Which is which everybody, you know, if you want to hear like a really crazy story that may or may not be true, but ravishing recruit is rest in peace. But yeah, apparently he wanted to have like a super boner and injected something in there, so he had no boner more. But yeah.
Sometimes you just don't mess with it. Just don't.
But it's like, the bonus in wrestling.
But yeah, the whole build up to that whole thing, revelation of it, with the whole scene at the diner where they using the Greeks and the Roman guys to figure out everything, was so well done, because you're following along and then you're like, man, let me look this shit up, man. You're like, this goes with that, all that.
To have like a scene that is so eloquently intelligent and yet in a stupid way. Amazing. This whole like thing, and of course later with the dick shrink. I think this is the best part of the movie.
It's so well done. Like you follow along with that whole sequence, and I'm like, no, did they just think of this off the cuff and said, hey, this will make a great scene in the movie? You just relating the Greek and Roman gods to how the situation is, and then the whole Kansas area code and all that stuff. I'm like, yo, I don't know if this is creative or they just thought of this shit like out of nowhere, like Scott Steiner's Mad promo. Where you think did that just add up? And this shit,
which is actually very interesting in the thing, because actually I have no idea, but there's something like I noticed that I think like I don't know if it's just in movies or in real life that a lot of Black Americans give their kids like, you know, Apollo, or like Hercules, like to give them like Greek god and demigod names.
They are some pretty cool names that, you know. Cause hey, you think about Tiny Lister played Zeus.
Yeah, like it's very interesting. I also know like one of the first black people I've seen in my life ago, like in Austria, not a lot of many back then, was also the like Hercules Boyd, the wrestler.
Oh yeah.
That was like a first. Yeah, it's really crazy, especially when you think back how the world changed and yet didn't in some way.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole scene was just so well done, and it's like, what up, Justice?
Hey. Very humble, liking yourself.
Make sure y'all check him out tonight. I'll be working, but you know, check out Justice Comments Live tonight.
You know what happens when you block yourself on live streams? You might end up in biggest list of the worst.
Hopefully that don't happen. Justice is a cool guy. Man.
Happened to Burke.
I could care less about CPC though, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, what was another scene? The whole point of the story is, you know, and this is another blaxploitation, and pretty much anything the story related is that, you know,
also Justice, you're wasting your time. Nobody's watching us anyways.
Yeah, we only got, you're the third viewer. And we're talking Black Dynamite, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like his brother was like an undercover agent, you know, / drug dealer and all that stuff, and he gets iced by the mob at the beginning of the movie. And I love when the first detective come on the scene like, oh, can you believe who this is?
Yes,
Black Dynamite, brother. The war is gonna happen. Like, the bloodshed that's gonna start because of this. It's so hilarious how they do that. It's like that's Black Dynamite, brother. He knows war is coming.
Yeah. And also we like later, you know, the emphasis of like his own like you promised like your mother that you will take care of him.
Going back to when he was a kid.
Yeah, 4 thumb up and 2 are probably from us.
I haven't even liked it yet.
I did.
I usually like it after.
Yeah, like, you know,
yeah, it's like you get the flashbacks of him as a kid, and you know, yeah, you promised the watch your brother, his aunt getting on him. You promised your mother that you will watch over your brother. It's like the genesis of Black. And his name was always Black Dynamite, even as a kid.
Yeah.
even as an orphan, when he was an orphan, I was an orphan once. And then they get on like, I'm like, oh, look at Black Dynamite, you ain't nothing. So, and then he threw all the kids out the window. I was an orphan. I love his flashback reflections. Yeah. The Vietnam, the orphans, the mom. It's like he gets all emotional.
And those like, of course, way. Yeah. And of course, all like the kids that are already everybody else is slack.
Oh, it's so good, man.
It's like, yeah. Oh yeah, it's such a fantastic time. Of course, it's also. I think it's a fantastic. There's a double feature because we had like one serious movie to talk about,
Yeah,
to dive into, and then just like Dynamite.
it's like
this.
it's like a good contrast. You know, one
Yeah.
one serious and one comedy, but yet they both have those themes with pimps, action,
Yeah.
and stuff. This one is more action than Willie.
Yeah, and I also say that like Dynamite is very rewatchable, mostly because
yeah.
it throws so many references, so much at you that you need a few rewatches to really get every homage, every reference.
I even like the chase scene where he chased down the guy in the car, and the guy looking back. He's like, "Oh, you think you gonna stop me?"
Like some of the subtle scenes. It's like, you know, when he was with the, I forgot the name, with a girl. We
talked action. Jackson.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and she was like, you know, no, I'm not going with you. I want to walk, and he's like, I drive.
Or even the actor switch during the fight with Bullhorn.
Yeah.
He hit him too hard. Like, what the fuck you do that for?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so hilarious.
But yeah, Gary, Action Jackson is also so good. And every time I watch Action Jackson, I really want to have barbecue.
Like barbecue with your... Matter of fact, like I said, you guys send me those because those was on your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Action Jackson was great, but Black Dynamite just takes all
two
of that.
Fantastic movies. And what I'm also really happy, like I said, you know, diving into movies that I had no idea like existed and that really deserve to be talked about, like Willie Dynamite. Also for next week, I'm really looking much forward to, because it's also a movie that I think historically very important, and just an awesome spaghetti western. Because next week we're gonna talk about Lola Colt, and this is I think the only spaghetti western that has a black female protagonist.
I'm looking forward to watching that film. Like I'm gonna, every movie we talk about is gonna be the day we talk about. I'm gonna post in my story, you know.
Yeah.
For the film, and Lola Colt is definitely on the watch list. I can't wait to watch that for next week. And
I think we already talked about in the past. It's often so crazy that the Italian film industry valued black actors so much more than they did in the US.
Hey man, Fred Williamson made a career over there.
Exactly, you know, and there's a laugh of the hammer, you know, when he was successful in the US, and then Hollywood is like, you know, hey, if you want better roles, you have to play better roles. Fuck him, going to Italy.
and he got control of the movies that he got. So.
And that's also the thing, you know, it's like his legacy. That's like not only like in the US but also here in Europe. Like Fred Williamson is a huge star in Europe.
Yeah, his name is like, I'm not gonna sit here and put him on the level of a David Hasselhoff, because he's like a god to y'all.
David Hasselhoff, you know, like I say, if David Hasselhoff, it doesn't matter if it's in Germany or Austria, if he would be the candidate for president, he would be voted. and it's a crazy thing, because, you know, when he has a concert here, there's so many young people that didn't grow up with him. And like when he has a concert, he's like sold out.
Damn.
It's like, it's the Hoff.
Hoff, man.
Yeah, Hoff. 1, 2, 3, Hasselhoff.
But yeah, like, another thing that I like in Black Dynamite, and like you mentioned earlier, it takes elements of, you know, kung fu action. Yeah. They go to the island where they face the fiendish Dr. Wu,
which is of course a fantastic play on one of my favorite villains of all times, Dr. Fu Manchu.
Fu Manchu.
We also have to talk the Fu Manchu movies with Christopher Lee in the future.
Oh yeah, just so we could trigger some people. Like, oh no, not Fu Manchu. It's Christopher Lee, then.
Yeah, and it's called acting.
Even if it didn't age well in terms of today's way. Hey, go back to the James Bond movie where Sean Connery had to play an Asian. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, that whole island sequence where he fight against the fiendish Dr. Wu is hilarious. You know.
Yeah.
And I like how his whole squad got decimated in that whole. It was like a Deadpool 2 scene where you recruit your guys, you bring them there, and they all get decimated. And Cream Corn, you think, oh, Cream Corn gonna survive? Like, nope.
I straight want to rewatch it.
Oh yeah, the movie is just so rewatchable because you just want to watch it, laugh, and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, because at the end, like I said, some jokes might be a little bit overdone, and I think the movie, as a movie, would be better if it would be more subtle. But also, let's face it, you get like a whole genre within one movie, and it opens the door to so many other movies. So basically, it's Black, like you said, like Black Dynamite is basically the gateway drug into the blaxploitation genre for modern audiences.
Yeah, and again,
and the other thing is, it doesn't tone down language or anything else. Like, it takes no compromise. This is what I love. It's not like, hey, this is like a modern, in German we say weich gekocht, like when something is cooked so it's like flabby and like not solid. So this is a real deal. This is not like, oh, we toned it down for modern audiences, like you don't get like certain words in there, etc. No, when you make a blaxploitation movie, it needs to be real.
It needs to be authentic.
Exactly.
That's the key word, because they kept it authentic to the blaxploitation genre. The aesthetic, the look, the various cuts of some cuts, and all that. When they driving, you see the green screen behind them and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that is just pure love and paying attention to the detail.
And it's done with love and not mockery. This is the most important thing.
Yeah, and like you yearn for these type of movies. Like, I don't expect it to come back in full force, but every once in a while, I like to see movies like Black Dynamite, or even The Undercover Brother, by Eddie Griffin. Something like that, where it's just the fun is there. You got these characters that are over the top, but yet you can always watch them because they're so entertaining.
Yeah. And like I was saying, when you like those, go back to the originals. They're out there. Even when they're not released on DVD and Blu-ray, you can find them on YouTube very often, and give them a chance. Because we both didn't grow up in the 70s, and yet we still love those. So.
And I grew up watching my parents' VHS tapes.
Yeah.
They had Black Caesar and Hell Up in Harlem and all that stuff, Foxy Brown and Superfly. I grew up watching those when I wasn't supposed to watch them.
Like I say, I love my 4Ks, but like I also love my gritty VHS quality.
There's something about that VHS quality that has a nostalgic feel to it. Like, yeah, it's not in HD and stuff like what most people prefer, but it's just the grittiness of it. That you're like, yeah, this is how I grew up watching it. Like that old school, wavy lines, grittiness.
Yeah, and sometimes, what I hear from young people, when they, especially the crowd that says, all these old movies are like, out of touch, etc. And then they watch, like, for the first time, like an Alien or like other movies, and it's like, hey, these movies have strong female characters. Yes, like, it's so crazy. Even sometimes you can't even fault some of the young people because they don't grow up with these movies, sadly. They should if they have a proper parenting. But when they suddenly find out that, that basically in all the old movies, that every group has actually fantastic representation.
Yeah.
It's society that is the problem, not the movies.
I also want to, highlight the beautiful woman that's in Black Dynamite. Sally Richardson as Gloria. Whew. I love her. When we talked Posse, she was in that film.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous in there. Nicole Ari Parker as Mahogany Black. I mean, a name like Mahogany.
Mahogany Black. Yeah, this is like that one sticks with you, And maybe maybe you can, when the young audience, and you're already 18, then you can watch Black Dynamite with your father, and you can ask your father how many actresses he knows.
I mean, Kim Whitley as Honeybee. I mean, the list goes on and on. The woman in these films is just amazing.
Oh my god, I just remember, like, I think it was like when I was 18 or something, and I was at home and watching like a German. It was like such a thing. There was like a German talk show on the TV, and my dad was on the couch, and suddenly there was a porn actress on the TV. We both looked at we looked at each other like, it's like, how do you know?
I like the Manic Cop movies. Those are movies that I do want to revisit. Because, I think Robert Zarr was in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert Zarr.
I haven't seen it in ages.
Yeah, but I know VCR definitely posting clips for Robert Zarr's birthday, and I'm like, man, I got to watch these movies again. Because that's the thing, like, I miss these different type of exploitation movies,
Yeah.
Exterminator.
What I really like currently, I think Italy does a fantastic movies lately. Like also like some adaptation of some more adult Italian comic stuff, and also some sort of expectations. I think it's slowly coming back. Like Dario Argento, of course, did even though he's already in his 80s now. He did a fantastic, like a Giallo recently. So I think that more movies are coming, and I truly hope that this wave will go on and we will get more movies from it.
Last week I watched Shot by Mario Bava.
Mario Bava. Oh. In my opinion, the greatest director that ever lived.
I enjoyed that.
You gotta watch Bay of Blood. I don't think Bay of Blood is his best movie, but when you watch it, you can see that how much like Carpenter ripped off for Halloween. This is like a proto slasher. Like
everybody gets something from somewhere.
Yeah, and it's like it's not a dig or something. It's you borrow and you make it your own, and this is also how we get forward with art.
Yeah.
Talking about art, I got a nice comic haul.
Oh, sweet. But just to wrap up, we gotta talk that final battle between Black Dynamite and the President of the United States.
like Dick, not Richard Nixon. Planet of Vampire, yeah. This is where Dan O'Bannon got a lot for Alien.
Man, I love that this took place during that whole Watergate scandal. Richard Nixon was just the fact that he was behind everything. Like I said, this movie has sub bosses. The mob, the Chinese fiend.
It goes right to the top.
But it goes right to the top, straight to the White House.
I also really like the actor.
Not the White House, the honky house. But yeah,
the only thing missing was like a plate of crackers on the president.
The fight was was so over the top, like Richard Nixon holding his own against Black Dynamite, busting out nunchucks. His wife coming in and say, "Stop throwing my china." It was a great way to end, because that is always the theme of these blaxploitation movies. The man, you have to stop the man.
Yeah.
And who better than being the man than the president of the United States?
Because
history, we all know the government was against the black revolutionaries and Martin Luther King and all of them. COINTELPRO wrecked the Panthers and a lot of other movements that was happening. And that was due to J. Edgar Hoover. So, it all comes down from the president. He authorized all this shit.
And you know where the fish starts rotting?
Yeah, so
the head.
Go straight to the top and fight the president. This movie is so fucking hilarious, man. And then he not only he defeats the president, but he finds more shit to expose him with. President like that kinky shit.
Yeah. This is such a fantastic scene in the movie, because they also do it in such a funny way, and when you think about it, it would be sad that if this movie would come out nowadays, that I think from both sides people would criticize it. Oh, it portrays this wrong, but that's wrong. It's like, okay, this is a fantastic movie.
And 2009 doesn't even feel that long ago when this movie came out.
Sadly, 2009 is long ago.
I know, sadly, but compared to fucking Willie Dynamite, it felt like it's just only 13 years. I mean, it's crazy, man.
I was still in university then.
It's crazy, man. But like I said, with that whole fight scene, and then of course, Black Dynamite, being the gentleman that he is, has to apologize to the wife, the first lady, because he punched her into the cabinet full of china, or slapped her into it. And he felt that she didn't attack him physically; she just shot the glass of the plate.
Yeah.
So he felt the need to apologize, because that's not of his character.
Yeah.
And he gets the girls at the end. It's like that's like.
And I also laugh at the end. That basically, when both of the womanized legs, it looks like a Boris Vallejo painting.
Yes, it's like this is a perfect painting picture right here. When Chris shared that on his page, I had to share them in my story.
Yeah,
because it's just a classic shot.
It is.
And I love that animation at the end, with him punching all the credits.
Yeah.
That's what led to the animated cartoon, that animation.
Yeah, and of course you also have some nice outtakes in the credits, which is also.
Black Dynamite was just a fantastic film, man.
It is. I had such an amazing time watching both movies.
Yeah, and like I said, Black Dynamite led to the resurgence of Willie Dynamite because of the Pimp Council scene. And then when you watch Willie Dynamite, man, this is a really good fucking movie. So yeah, this was a great double feature and great way to kick off
Black History Month.
Yeah, Black History Month in style. So before we head on out, you got a haul.
Yes, because I got something nicely in. And last weekend I was in Vienna at Match Titan Comics, and we got some treasures there because I upgraded some early Conan.
Nice. Always.
Issue number 5, beautiful Barry Windsor-Smith cover. And the one that is in my collection does not look as clean as this one.
Super clean.
Absolutely. Then I got here another upgrade of issue 6, because also the one in my collection doesn't look as clean as this one. So really beautiful. Also, I love this cover, especially also how part of the tree dress, in the Like mixed in there, yeah. Devil wings over Shalizar.
Nice. It's always great to upgrade from a lower tier copy.
Yeah, then this is basically just a dollar comic, but I'm a big fan of the Atlantis Attacks crossover. And this is like the what if well, if Seth, if Seth, Seth, yeah, the God Seth, of course, which is like a lot of people forget that the Atlantis Attack storyline also harkens back into Kal and Conan history because it's about the Serpent Crown, naturally, and it's about like the god Seth, which is the same god like in the Marvel universe that Conan and Kal has to deal with their avatars, with their followers, with the Serpent Man. So, I highly recommend to read the whole Atlantis Attack storyline. It's one of the better crossovers, one of my favorite Marvel stories that does not directly involve like Kal or Conan, but both are mentioned within. And so I'm very curious how it's gonna look when Seth wins.
Nice.
And actually, I'm very happy to found this because this is actually a Conan book that was still missing, like not part of the original line, but also the what if, like what if Conan battled Wolverine.
When you shared that to me, I was like, I need that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the what ifs I'm still looking for. That and the Thor.
Like it's like I got it for €5, which is not that expensive over here for like a retro comic. But like this is like not a pricey comic, but it's very tough to find in the wild.
Yeah, I never see that in the what if sections whenever I look.
Of course, because like it's Conan and Wolverine covers per se.
And the thing, years later they be part of the Savage Avengers. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Which Savage Avengers is still one of the better Marvel Conan stories. Also, like, still have to read it.
Man, that book right there.
This is also a book. I mean, it only has like reprints in there, but this is so tough to find in Europe. Masters of Terror issue number. This only lasted for 2 issues, and it has reprints in there of classic Marvel horror stories. For example, like the Mount from Roddy Howard. Then, of course, Robert Bloch, which is also a Weird Tales writer, who is also the author of Psycho. Funny enough, Robert Bloch actually wrote also like in the columns of Weird Tales back in the day that he was not a fan of how Robert E. Howard ended his tales, that how Conan always got out of the misery, etc., the danger. But yeah, then of course you have H.P. Lovecraft in there. And August Derleth, which of course is also a Weird Tales writer and also the founder of Arkham Press. And you have like a nice adaptation of It, which is a 1940s horror story by Fear Sturgeon. And it's also like, I think Hal Collector wrote in the comments, it's like, hey, this looks like Swamp Thing. Yeah, Swamp Thing and Man Thing both are inspired by this 1940s story.
That's an awesome cover.
Yeah, fantastic cover. This is I forgot who did it, but this is also homage to a Steranko cover.
Oh, nice.
And then I got the full run. Luckily, I found like a seller that sold the full run for cheap of the Topps Elric of Melnibourne run.
Oh wow, I ain't know Topps did Elric.
Yeah, Topps had some Elric stories, and this is like issue number 1. This one ran for 7 issues. Issue number 2. Yeah, and Elric also is such a fantastic character. Currently rereading all the Elric's book because they finally came out in a nice hardcover edition.
Man, I have a few Topps comics, but I've never seen the Elric under the Topps.
Yeah, usually those are also like very rare to find. So when I found like a whole set of, those are reader copies that are not the cleanest, but very much looking forward to read this comic book adaptation.
Nice.
And of course, I think it's written by Roy Thomas and the art is by Craig Russell, and Craig Russell's art is just amazing. And of course, all the covers by Craig Russell. And,
Tentacle cover there, man.
yeah,
Nice.
and what I like about Craig Russell is that his art fits comics, but it's also so like I say, artsy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's very artsy.
Yeah, and very
It's also
psychedelic. He also
I
did.
like that one.
Yeah, Craig Russell also did fantastic adaptation of some opera classics, for example, like Mozart's Zauberflöte, or of course Wagner's The Ring of the Nibelungen. And this is issue number 7.
I like the different use of the title Elric.
Yes. Yeah, Topps had some fantastic comics. Of course, also Hercules, Xena. And the greatest thing is, they had Roy Thomas as a writer. So that's always a bonus.
I have a few of the last remaining stuff that Jack Kirby did on Topps.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's awesome haul, man. So, that is the end of this stream. Man, fantastic discussion.
Fantastic discussion. And
lots of laughter, lots of good stuff. You know,
yeah.
Pimping ain't easy, y'all. Pimping ain't easy.
And like I said, as everybody who follows the news recently, it doesn't pay off in the end.
Doesn't pay off.
I mean, I hope it doesn't pay off in the end.
It only pays off if you put your mind to it and say, you know what, man, it's not worth it. Let me go on a different route.
Also, like I said, never worth ruining another life.
Yes. So, great discussion on these two films.
You too, Gary. Thanks.
And we'll be back next week on the Thursday again, where we talk Lola Colt. I am looking forward to that. Some spaghetti western with a black female lead. So that should be
lots of music in there.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of bummed out that Instagram ain't got no Lola Fauna music.
Yeah, I was already looking for it. Like, come on.
I'm like, what, man? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and of course after that we got Cleopatra Jones, so it's gonna be back-to-back weeks of black female power movie.
Yes,
it's gonna be fun.
As and always, of course, which also means pretty girls. So. Oh
yeah, can't get enough pretty girls. But yeah, but this Thursday, tomorrow will be Big Account that's already started. But, you know, tomorrow evening, I'll be joining the fellas for dinner, and I get to meet Unruly Simeon and Sleepy Rita and all that, so
I'm pretty sure that when we have the stream next week, you're gonna have some books to show.
Yeah, I'll probably have some books to show. Even though I'm trying, I'm going in with the focus of just hanging out with the fellas and not spending too much money, because I'm trying to save that for Heroes Con in June. That's where all the books are gonna be.
Yeah.
But I'll probably have some stuff. What?
Lola Colt.
Yeah, or Lola Falana.
Yeah.
So have a good time searching for that, Gary. So as always, I hope y'all have a great weekend coming up. This is your boy Sean, VV. We are signing out. Peace.